I think teenagers today are kind of like shitty and uncreative because they never had to try to masturbate to scrambled pornography. I think that's a formative thing in your life. And they never had to try to put that sexy puzzle together, you know? You guys know what I'm talking about. You had Channel 99. It was off the dial, but you could zero in on that at 10 p.m. It was green nudity. I watched that shit so much, I got so good at it, I just didn't even like see it anymore. I was like that guy in the Matrix who doesn't even see the code, you know? I was like redhead, brunette, three-way, gay. Nobody has to, I mean, kids, you just have to go on fucking the internet, you know? Like, you had to watch scrambled porn, or you had to find it out in the woods for some reason. So there's always porno in the woods. Like some weird pay-it-forward program, like some mouth breather, just like, I am done with this pornography now, and I will leave it under a log for a 14-year-old to find. Are people just leaving iPads out there now? Like, slide to unlock. Pornography is fucking important too, because, you know, anytime there's a new invention, the first thing that someone does for it is like try to get porn on it. Like the first guy who drew on the side of a cave was just like, this is a picture of a guy. And then the next guy was like, here is his dick. Pornography.
So I gotta tell you a true story that happened to me wearing Spanx. I wore my Spanx and I wore a short skirt. I was going to a house party, so of course I didn't have underwear on. So I go to this house party, and I'm feeling good, I grab a beer, and I go to sit down and all of a sudden, wow. I'm like, oh, that ain't good. So I go to try to get up, and the chair stuck to me. I'm not kidding, I'm trying to get this chair off of me, and I swear, the suction was so fierce. It made my ears pop. So I got this chair, and I swear to God, I could have picked up an F-150 with a family of 5 pulling a trailer with my twat. Somebody's jealous again. So I'm trying to get this chair off of me, trying to get it off, and then all of a sudden, sweet! The chair is off. The whole party is looking at me, and then they're looking down at the chair. I left a clam print on the chair. Thank God I didn't have a yeast infection. She's dry heaving. So I kind of panicked. I'm like, oh my God, do I put my beer down? Do I reset and risk suction again? But you know what? I didn't have to do any of that. Lo and behold, the family dog, he licked the clam print off the chair. That's right. I love that dog. He followed me around that party with one of those lipstick boners trying to hump on me.
My husband wanted to surprise our kids with a trip to Michigan Adventure this weekend, and he said, where should I tell them we're going instead so it'll be a huge surprise and shock when we get there? And I said, how about Disney World? Try that. Adjusting to life in the United States isn't easy, guys, when you're an immigrant, because not every custom translates very well. For example, my dad used to beat my mom. And that's terrible, right? Thank you for laughing. But the biggest concern is that my brothers and I were fine with this behavior because, well, we're Africans. Domestic violence is a social norm back home. So you can imagine our frustration when Americans would jump in and break up some of the best matches we had seen in months. I would just shrug my shoulders and say, is this the end of round one? Man, let's go home and wrap this up, you know? We were flat broke growing up, guys. It was not easy. And I remember my father would fill the space of our government housing with his nonstop expert whistling, day in and day out. He would brag about how great he was at it, and the only thought that always crossed my mind was, what about a full-time job, Dad? You know, could you get good at that? Because I'm pretty sure it's whistle while you work, not instead. I love watching comedians online when my kids appear to be distracted. The other day, I had to stop a video abruptly because the comic started using a ton of profanity. And my daughter was like, that was pretty funny, Mom. Why'd you turn it off? And I said, honey, his use of language wasn't the best. And she said, oh, was he African? She totally misunderstood it, you know, she didn't realize he was cursing. She just thought that he was speaking poorly, but what's the point? What's the point of explaining a stupid joke, right? Fat people who jog really throw me off, guys. Because I don't know if I should feel inspired that this is week one of an incredible journey, or angry, because nothing seems to be going right after 3 years, right? For that reason, I believe that anyone who exercises publicly should have to display their years of experience somewhere on their sleeve or pocket, because I could use some truth in advertising, folks. It'd be helpful to know what's working, right? I get really confused when local businesses are named after real places that exist in the world. Over breakfast the other day, my husband said, 36 people were slaughtered in Osaka last week. And I said, dear Lord, who knew Japan was having problems? And he said, not the Asian city, Nardos. I'm talking about the sushi and steakhouse on 28th Street. And I was like, oh, now that's more like it, because I've always said that the service there stinks. Can happen. I read a headline the other day. It said, 2-year-old shot while watching cartoons, which is a heartbreak. And the story included a photo with a caption that said, 6-year-old Chrissy points to the window where a stray bullet entered and hit her 4-year-old sister, Chrissia. Guys, how on earth could this be happening in this day and age? Did you all know that a woman in America gave birth to females 2 years apart and chose the name Chrissy twice? I think we all know who that bullet was meant for, right? That's what I'm saying. Man.
There's a lot of beautiful women in here. A lot of beautiful women. Wow. I like women. You know, I like women like I like my steak. I like them thick, juicy, a little pink in the middle, and quiet as fuck. I don't want to hear your mouth. Just tone it down, tone it down. But I know, like, a lot of women, you're not appreciative of your curves. You don't love yourself like you should. You know what I mean? And if you don't love yourself, who's gonna love you? Y'all know you heard that before, right? I mean, some of y'all run around here wearing Spanx when it's clearly you need whoopings. You need whoopings. Clearly. Jeez. You know what I mean? It's true. It's true. And, you know, I dated women from, like, tall, short, wide, whatever, but I could never date a woman that's bigger than I am. I could never do that. Because, and it's not because I'm like against that or whatever. It's just, it's for her sake, her mindset. Because if we're walking down the street and we're looking like the number 10, I shouldn't be the one. Jeez. Just rotund. It's not good for her ego. For her ego. And another thing about women that I hate is when, like, they have babies and all that, and then they blame it on the babies. You know, I'm big because of all those babies I had. Well, I want to say, like, bitch, quit eating so many. Sit a couple plates back and step away from the table. You know they're fat, and they come out all chubbed out. Whatever. But this is for all the black people in here. I know you're in here. Look, we need to be supportive of the gays and gay marriage and all that other stuff. Because if there's any group in this country that have been discriminated against and put upon and all that, it's us. So we shouldn't be like for taking away rights that we have, the same rights that we have. So we should be supportive for them and any group at all. We shouldn't be against anybody at all. Except for the handicapped, and here's why. Seriously, they get those big comfy shitters and all that with the bars in there and stuff, and I always feel guilty going in there and use it. So I have to use that casket size one. I'm a big guy, and anything I'm in is a casket size, so it's very uncomfortable for me. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a hot day, balls hot, and I'm parked way in the back of the mall because every spot is filled, and I have to walk up front. There are 20 handicap spaces and one handicap van. And you know what? Why? Because they all ride together. They do. So just as I'm walking by, the guy gets out of his van in his wheelchair. Now recap, a guy with a chair with wheels getting out of a vehicle with wheels. Why can't he park in the back? I'm more handicapped than he is because I'm sweating and stuff, looking like a glazed chocolate donut. I'm very hot. Then he's got the nerve to come out of his van. He goes, "Hey buddy, you better get inside. It's kind of warm out." Fuck you, 10 speed. I'm not trying to hear your shit right now. I'm not trying to hear it. So black people, don't hate the gays. Turn all your hatred towards the handicapped. Don't do that. That's a joke. That's what you call a joke. That's what you call a joke. Now I'm 44, and I have a little 5-year-old. I have 4 beautiful children, 3 in their 20s, 1 little 5-year-old, just to show I know how to put it down. And it still works. It still works. And I gotta get in shape, for my fight. I'm not like in horrible shape, but I'm not like in 5-year-old daddy shape. You know what I mean? I can't run and jump and keep up with this little bitch. It's just hard for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a physical, head to toe, top to bottom. And since I moved back up here recently from North Carolina, I had to get a new doctor. And if you know about that process, they give you a book or you have to go online, you have to choose a doctor and stuff. And I want to choose one that knows about my health issues. I'm choosing a black doctor. So I look in there, and I pick a doctor, Freeman. I'm like, okay, Freeman, that's some slave stuff. Morgan Freeman, he's gotta be black. I'm riding with this guy. So I show up, I'm sitting on the little table and all that, and that gown is not gonna cover me up. So my ass is on this piece of paper like a deli ham, waiting for this cat to come in there. And I'm nervous, because I don't know this dude. I'm very nervous, I don't know him. So I'm waiting for him to come in there, all of a sudden, this young little white guy comes blasting through the room and stuff, talking 1,000 miles an hour. I'm like, okay, he must have been on the owner's side. And you'll get it. He gets it. Thank you. So I'm like, wow, so he's talking 1,000 miles an hour, asking me questions, washing his hands, putting his gloves on and stuff. I'm like, okay, I've been here before. I know what's about to go down. He's about to go interview the Browns in the locker room. So I'm sitting there, and he comes over towards me and starts to kneel down, and I turn around and turn my backside to him. And he starts to chuckle. I'm like, what is this kid laughing at? And he goes, Mr. Jeter, you're gonna have to turn around. We're gonna check the front out first. I'm like, God damn, this is embarrassing. So I lift up my gown, twigs and berries, do the cough and all that other stuff, check out fine. He's like, okay, assume the position. So I put my hands on the table, and I'm like waiting for him to say 1, 2, 3, go, or here comes a plane into the hangar, something to prepare me for the assault that's about to take place. Then all of a sudden I see this blinding white light, just blinding white light. Now I don't know if I actually saw a white light, or if my eyeballs flipped into the back of my head and were looking at my brain. But this guy was 3 knuckles deep into my ass like a raccoon in a garbage can. He was just in there. He just stabbing, poking the bear is what he was doing. And that wasn't the bad part. That wasn't the bad part. The bad part was he was digging around in there like he's trying to get a nickel out of a piggy bank. With the same ferocity of a raccoon going into a garbage can. He was just that intense about his job. So I'm like, okay, fine. I check out okay. That was the beautiful part. My prostate checked out cool. Everything was good. So thank you for that applause. Thank you. The bad part is, Now whenever I walk fast, it sounds like a jug band, like whoo, 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 which is another reason why I hate to park way in the fucking back of the parking lot. So fuck the handicap. My name is Mike Jeter. I had a great time. Adios.
Michael Gator, come on, one more time for him. He was great in The Green Mile, wasn't he? You liked that movie? He was great in that.
It may not be surprising when you hear me talk up here to know that I'm part of the 99% of comedians who are single. Not much of a shock, I'm sure. But I'm a little different. A lot of comedians who are single, they'll talk about how rough it is to be single, how it's terrible. I'm different. You know, I'm single, but I'm single by choice. That's right. I'm single by choice. That's right. Not my choice, but you know, a choice is made. Somewhere down the line, I'm living with that choice. There's probably multiple choice out there tonight. We'll see. But yeah, I've been trying things, put myself out there more. One thing I've been doing the online dating. Yeah. Not going super great so far. I don't know. It's tough. But everybody tells me, Pat, don't get discouraged. You gotta find a way to put like the best possible version of yourself out there. And if you do that, then people get to know the real you. And that's how you're gonna find someone. I'm like, okay, cool. Best possible version of Pat Sievert, I can do that. Get on the computer, I'm like, hey ladies, my name's Pat. I'm an amateur comedian. I'm broke. I love comic books and Game of Thrones. So I'm sure you want to book a trip to Pound Town now. Just shoot me a message. No takers yet, I don't get it. Do not get it. I don't know, it's hard. You know, I read a lot of these profiles on these online dating sites. They all kind of say the same thing. They're like, online dating is really weird. You know, if things work out, we're gonna have to make up a story about how we met. Because otherwise it would be embarrassing to say we met online. It's like, okay, I can roll with that. Let's make up a story right now. You know, maybe we didn't meet online. Maybe you saw me telling some jokes at the Riverfront, talking about legalizing weed, and you knew you hadn't let me ball you. You know, that's a great story. You can write that one tonight, you know. I'm a master storyteller. Just give me a chance. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just like I'm narrowing down my search too much. I should expand my search. You know, there's other sites out there than the ones I'm trying. I saw an ad for a new site called farmersonly.com. I think I'm going to give that one a try. Something about it's calling my name. That's a real site, if you guys didn't know. It's a dating site for people who work on a farm, live out in the country. They want someone more in that style. Okay, I can do that. I can bluff a little bit, go on that site and be like, hey ladies, my name's Pat. I'm not a farmer, but I want to do some plowing. So, shoot me a message. No takers yet, I don't get it. Do not get it. It's tough, you know, and some people told me that I should treat it like I'm applying for a job, like you'd highlight your strengths. I don't know, that's not been a good approach for me. I'm trying to approach it more like I'm running for office, like campaign. Like let's say I'm running for like mayor of Pound Town, you know, get on there and be like, Pound Town's in need of some rejuvenation, and I'm willing to do the work. I'm talking about like pounding, jackhammering, laying pipe, you know, all the work. I'll be out there doing it myself. Do you want someone committed? Like, I'm not gonna hit it and quit it. So when you want to go get polled, you think of Pat Sievert for mayor of Pound Town. Yeah. I think that'll do it for me. Thanks a lot, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I talked to my dad this morning, and me and my dad, we have a good relationship. I think that's important to have a good relationship with both your parents because they'll teach you different things. My mother taught me that I should never hate anybody. My dad taught me how to ignore my mother. She didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. A little bit about myself. I'm a hockey fan, and I know that throws people off because I'm left-handed. I don't know why people like hockey is more popular in the ghetto when you think about it. Like it's the only sport where you can hit a motherfucker with a stick and then fight them and then go to jail for 5 minutes and then get out and do the same shit again. Like, hockey is basically white people acting like black people on ice. That's all that is.
There you go.
I'm also a Game of Thrones fan. I like the show Game of Thrones. It's cool. And normally, that throws people off again because normally black folks don't like shows about the past and shit. But it's like the make-believe past, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like in the make-believe past, you can't have like dragons and racism. Like nobody hops on a dragon and goes to a Klan meeting, is what I'm saying. Like, if history's shown us anything, is that white people can only be afraid of one thing at a time. And if it's dragons and shit flying around, Trayvon wouldn't have been so suspicious. That's all I'm saying. Yes, motherfuckers, I said it. That verdict pissed me off though, but I adapted real quick to it. Like, right after they found him not guilty, the next day I went out to Hot Topic. I spent like $150 in Hot Topic, right? Like, you can't stand your ground against a black dude wearing a One Direction t-shirt. Like, the most non-threatening black dude ever. Like, I went out and got that. Like, Mumford & Sons. Mumford & Sons ain't shit but Coldplay on Moonshine. That's all they is. Same fucking groups. One without moonshine, one with moonshine. That's all it is. A little bit more about myself. I suffer from ADD and depression. So sometimes I'm real distracted by how shitty everything is. Also, I'm a lawyer in the daytime. That's what I do for a living. I'm an attorney. And don't clap for that. People ask me all the time, like, well, why do you, what made you start doing comedy? Like, actually, comedy has helped me overcome this, this medical condition I have. Like, have you guys ever heard of back spasms before? You've heard of back spasms, right? I was having black spasms. That's like when you're under a lot of pressure and stress and the black accidentally come out, like at the wrong fucking time. Like, I was at work, and I was dealing with this attorney, he's a real asshole, right? And I kept filing all these motions and stuff. My secretary came in, she said, what are you gonna do about this? I'm gonna show that motherfucker what time it is. I went and got some treatment. They gave me 2 Neil Diamond albums. I said, play these motherfuckers front to back, you'll be fine. And I had another, that didn't work, I had another episode. I was at Zoop. I don't know if y'all have heard of that place. It's a soup restaurant, it's like a chain. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I paid cash, which is strange because people don't even use cash anymore, I don't think. But I paid cash, and the lady behind the counter dropped a quarter, you know. And this woman that was next to me stepped on the fucking quarter like I wasn't supposed to know she stepped on my quarter, right? So, real quick, before I even realized, hey bitch, move your feet! That's literally what I said, hey bitch, move your feet. I went back to treatment. This time it was residential treatment in Canton, Michigan. Y'all call it IKEA. I was there for 2 weeks. All I learned how to do was pronounce fucked up furniture names. It didn't work. So I was, we live in Lansing and we went house shopping, it took us a while to find a house. And we were driving through this one neighborhood and they had this sign that said, slow children. And I'm like, why the fuck they advertising that? Y'all dropping the property value. Move here. And here's a tip, if you're doing some house shopping, if you want to know if a neighborhood is fucked up, 2 things you do. Look at the gas prices. Like neighborhoods is real terrible, the gas is almost fucking free. I don't know if y'all know that. They do that to keep them people that's there, keep them motherfuckers there, right? So they don't move. And then it's not even a delight to people, it's not a bargain. You're not gonna go in that neighborhood just because it's free gas. They steal the motherfuckers' faces. They take your face off, I grew up in 6 Mile of Charmers in Detroit. I know what I'm talking about. They take your face off, fuck off. And the next thing you do, don't go to the police station, nothing. Just go to Walgreens, okay? And go to the greeting card section. If they got no graduation cards in that motherfucker, they ain't got nothing but sympathy cards in there, then that's not the place for you. I heard one of my friends, Pat, came up here to talk about medical marijuana, and that's something that's pretty popular in Lansing. And whatever, it's fine. But one of the funny things to me is like scientists actually do research with medical marijuana, and I like science, but sometimes they do stupid shit. Like they had an article. It said that medical marijuana can cure or remedy sports and exercise-induced asthma. No shit. Marijuana stops you from sports and exercise. That's not... Ain't nobody ever had an asthma attack from shaking a fucking tambourine, okay? It's funny too, like the names they have for the weed, one of my friends used in this place telling me they had this product called Superman. And he was very interested in it, so he went to the counter. He's like, I see you got this thing, you call it Superman. You call it that, I'm guessing, because if you smoke this, you feel like you can fly, or maybe you get like superhuman strength or something like that. So no, we call it Superman because if you smoke this, you won't feel your legs no more. So, I went to Grand Valley State University. That's where I went, graduated. And I dated a girl. We had a long-term relationship while I was there. And, it was okay, but it just didn't work out, And we had an argument. Our final argument was because she walked in on me masturbating and watching porn at the same time. And she was furious with me. Like, how could you do this? So you don't get mad when I cook for myself.
There you go. Man's got needs.
This is just a chore. I wish I didn't have to do it so fucking often. Besides, you pro-choice to respect my body, okay? Every time I do this, just think about it like me cooking for myself. That's all that's going on. She says, okay, I get that. Well, why do you have to watch porn? Well, bitch, I can't cook from scratch, okay? I need a recipe.